Who should the Ravens trade for? Now, look, I know. Look, y'all fast with it down there. I know y'all already in the comments. Y'all got about 8 people that the Ravens should trade for to make themselves better. First things first, I do want to ask, should the Ravens trade for anybody? Are the Ravens good? Are they good as they are? Right? That's a question to be had. That's a question for y'all in the comment section below. I will answer that. I think you can never have too much talent, y'all. Like, let's be honest. I don't care how good this offense is clicking. I don't care. I don't care if the defense was clicking well. Like, the Ravens had an elite defense before Roquan Smith came, but they still traded for Roquan Smith, right? We've seen in the past the Eagles have had elite offenses and then turn around and trade for other people, right? The Browns have been locked up into a contract with Deshaun Watson where they couldn't get any weapons, so they say. And they still found a way to get some sort of help for their quarterback regardless. So no matter, and I mean, this is the same team that had Jarvis Landry and OBJ on the same team, right? This is the same team that found a way to trade for Amari Cooper. Now that's a little different now. It's not the same, you can't say that anymore. I mean, they still traded for him, but he's not on the team anymore. But still, like, the Bills. Let's talk about the Bills. The Bills offense, for the most part this season, more than not, has been pretty good. But they went out and traded, speaking of, for Amari Cooper, right? They went out and traded for Amari Cooper and said, you know what? This guy's going to help our offense. We're going to go grab him, right? And Amari Cooper has been an elite receiver for practically as long as he's healthy for his entire career. So, do the Ravens need anything? Like I said, I don't think you can ever have too much talent. I think, like I said before, and it goes back to it again, I like Nelson Agholor. I do, right? I do. I like Nelson Agholor. But I've always felt like somebody else would probably fill that spot better. Now, I thought it was going to be Tez Walker, but the Ravens and playing rookies, John Harbaugh's not going to do that. So, so there's no, like, why he was drafted. That's a whole nother question. Look, anyway, my thing is, I feel like somebody in the role that Nelly is in could fit better. And for me, before I get into some of the potential people that that people are talking, that not only the Ravens flock is talking about, but also the Baltimore Ravens have kind of their media team has pushed out some guys that could be possible too. I feel like offensively, I mean, Devontae Adams would have been a good one. You need that big. I still feel like that big body receiver would be nice, right? That big body guy that you could you could just throw the ball up to, and he gonna make defenses pay. That's me. That's how I feel, right? That's how I feel. The big body guy that is kind of the guy you could grab, right? I think the big body guy is the guy. Secondary, I could agree with that. Now, is there going to be some questioning Ravens fans if you get help at secondary, but you don't get one more guy to put you over the top offensively? Maybe, but I mean, secondary is good too. I'm trying to think, do I have anybody in mind? I don't have anybody in mind, but I wouldn't be mad about. I don't think I'd be mad about somebody in the secondary. Honestly, and I commend I commend Ojabo and I commend Owe for how they played so far, but I wouldn't be mad about an edge rusher. To be honest. Honestly, I think if the Ravens got more sacks, I think the secondary would play better. I do. Because I mean, I feel like they're right there. Like they're right there. Some of these plays have been plays where, hey, they've been they've been on them, but the throw was too good or whatever it was. But if you get pressure on on the QB, and I just don't think they're getting the pressure that they were. Shout out to Ravens Talk with Yolanda. Shout out to Yolanda B. Appreciate you for coming by too. Make sure you check her out as well. But I I agree, and the secondary I think is good too. So I mean I think you can always use a trade. You can always use a trade. There ain't never too much, and that's offensively and defensively. There's a reason why you trade for Roquan. There's a reason why you trade for Marcus Peters, and there's a reason why it's a domino effect, and your team gets better because of it. There's a reason why the Ravens supposedly, you believe what you want, were in the sweepstakes to try to trade for Derrick Henry last year because they understood you know this guy could put us over the top. And as we've seen, he's obviously a guy who could. No doubt, no way. You gonna get your line stirred up now. No doubt, no way. But I mean, on that point, if you bring back a guy who is possibly an elite pass rusher, even I mean, I've even seen people talk about like Clowney, right? Like bringing back Clowney or something like that. Like now, would I want somebody else? Maybe, possibly, right? I wouldn't necessarily mind Clowney. I wouldn't necessarily mind Clowney, but I think if you can take some of the pressure off of Owe, especially, I think it would be good because I think Owe is one of those guys. I think Owe is one of those guys where you can kind of put him out of position. You can let him blitz. You can let him use his speed, and he's one of those utility piece guys more than I think he is a pure pass rusher. I think he's more. Oh, don't get mad at me when I say this, especially you, Hendo. But I think he's more of a playmaker than he would be like a pure pass rusher, right? Like I think he would be more of a playmaker. Like if you just let him loose and let him kind of just do his thing, that's when I think he's at his best. When there's not a lot of pressure on him, that's when he can make the game sealing play. That's when he can make force a fumble. That I think, but I would love to see some of the pressure be taken off of him. To be honest with you, because I think it would do him some good. And honestly, I think he's played better this season than we've seen probably over the past 2 or 3 seasons. Right? I think he's played a little better. I think he's shown. I think he's shown more promise this season. I mean, I think there was a lot of us that was kind of like, don't know about this guy, to be honest with y'all. I don't know. Like, it might be time to move on. But I think especially, having Odrabo on the other side, I think has helped him too. And that's another guy I want to take some pressure off of, especially as he continues to get healthy. Right. I think he's at the healthiest he's been in a couple years. But as he continues to get healthy and just get back into game shape, I think it would be nice to have, just some rotational pieces. You can get an elite guy, but take a little pressure off of the guys you got. But I wanna slip into this article real quick that the Ravens did put out about this. Just give you guys thoughts on this too, talking about the potential trade targets. So of course the Jets went ahead and grabbed Devontae Adams. The Bills grabbed Amari Cooper, as we talked about earlier. Hassan Reddick is a possible guy that the Ravens could bring in. I don't think the Eagles are very happy with Hassan Reddick right now, but that's I don't think it could hurt. I don't think it could hurt. Jadeveon Clowney, I think is a good one. Jadeveon Clowney, honestly, I really do. I really do think is a good one. To bring him back, I think they should have brought him back anyway, just to have more pass rushers in the room. I think would have been good. Jonathan Jones, quarterback for the New England Patriots, I think that would be good too. Honestly, I mean, I think having more depth can never hurt you. I think Marlon and Nate Wiggins are playing well right now. Honestly, I think Brandon Stevens is kind of the weakest link of it, but at the same time, I mean, I think pass rush is going to help more than a corner. For me, I know Marcus Williams ain't necessarily playing as well as you would hope that he would. So that's another part of it too. Like Marcus Williams not playing as well. You lose Geno Stone, and then you know, I mean, I expected better, much more out of Marcus Williams. I think he's felt like he's been out of position. He's felt a little slow lately. So, I mean, will it get better? I think it could. And then I really like this one at the bottom, DeAndre Hopkins, because I think when you have Zay Flowers, and even when you have Rashad Bateman, you know, I think the credit, I think he deserves a little credit too. When you have Zay Flowers, when you have Rashad Bateman, honestly, I think that takes pressure off of DeAndre Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins can be that guy to go steal everybody's touchdowns pretty much, right? Like, I mean, DeAndre Hopkins comes in, he'll probably make everybody mad in fantasy, but I feel like he would be a good option because he gives you that big body receiver, great hands, can get open, and he gives you that kind of security blanket outside of the tight ends, right? I mean, imagine how much, especially in the passing game, you would have to focus on if you got to focus on DeAndre Hopkins, Rashad Bateman, Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely, Derrick Henry, Keaton Mitchell when he comes back. Like, I mean, it just becomes more and more dangerous. His offense is dangerous as is. It becomes more and more dangerous the more and more pieces you add. And that's why teams continue to add pieces, right? That's why Cincinnati's offense has been so electrifying the past couple of years. Is because of the amount of talent they have. Same thing with the Eagles, right? And with the talent that the Ravens have, I mean, once again, we talk about unstoppable now. I could only imagine you adding an extra receiver, an extra guy to come in and make those well, we might have to call them Terry McLaurin type catches the way he caught the ball last week, but you know, those Anquan Bolden type catches, right? You know, the Ravens have been missing that for a while. And unless Bateman's gonna become that guy, I mean, I don't think it hurts, especially if you add in a veteran guy, because that still lets Bateman continue to develop, right? That don't kill Bateman's confidence if you bring in DeAndre Hopkins, right? I personally don't believe. I think I had another. See if I can find. I think I had another. Okay, Jack Settleman had put something out too, real quick, and this will be the last one I'll wrap up. But Jack Settleman had put something out too about potential trade targets and just what he thought, you know, what he thought about trade targets. And you know what, I was like, you know, let's talk about it for a little bit. So Jack Settleman has said Ravens trade deadline moves if I were the GM. So if y'all were the GM, let me know down below what you would do. But this is what he would do. So number one, he says Zadarius Smith or Jadeveon Clowney. And more likely Clowney would be the option just because of, you know, things, you know, tampering within the division. Okay. So I think this is a good two. I think both of those will be good. I don't know what it is. The Ravens just can't find Zadarius Smith back. All right. They cannot find this man back. All right. They cannot get this man back. But Zadarius Smith, honestly, I mean, I think Clowney, like I said, I talked about Clowney before. Clowney would be a good one to bring back. I've heard a lot of people mention Max Crosby. It's been a while since the Ravens have had an elite pass rusher, so I would not be mad about Max Crosby, right? I mean, this is what we've been looking for since Judon, right? Has been kind of an elite guy. And you say what you want to about Judon, but he's been the best pass rusher we've had. I mean, if you talk about when he was here and then after he's been here, he's been the best guy, right? He's been the best guy. So there's that. He said number two, he said D Hop or D Hop for a fifth or Michael Williams if he's cut. You know, been down for go up and get a type guy. I agree with that. You know, I agree with that. And you know, I like the point he made too. You know, kind of those intangibles, right? Kind of those things that you know not everybody has. He's a big body guy, so he can also block, right? So talking about Mike Williams. So I mean, now Mike Williams, I wouldn't be opposed to it. Once again, and once again, it's you know, we talking about pressure, right? We talking about a guy who you don't have to, he don't have to be the guy, right? We need him to make big catches, not be the guy, right? You know, I think Zay is the guy. but we need somebody that can come in and make big catches, and Mike Williams can do that. Like I said, out of those two guys, I'd rather have D-Hop. That's just me. I've always wanted D-Hop on this team. Always wanted D-Hop on this team. I know he says Buda Baker is not a is a dream that's not really realistic. He don't feel like safety is a move that you can realistically make. I don't see them making a safety move. I don't. EJ Speed for half a season for a rental at depth at linebacker. Like I said, I mean, I think my biggest thing is I think my biggest thing I would love to see is pass rusher. Pass rusher. That's what I want to see. I want to see pass rusher. I want to see. I would love to see an elite pass rusher to take some pressure off of, if we're talking defensively, take some pressure off of the guys we already have, who I honestly think are playing well. Offensively, I would love to see a receiver, right? I love to see D-Hop. I mean, I think D-Hop, honestly. I mean, and like I said, Crosby defensively would be a dream. Get them both. What you need the picks for? What you need the picks for? They're just gonna be Tez Walker sitting on the bench, just waiting to finally possibly make a splash if he can. So like, what you need the picks for? Don't worry about that. Don't worry about the picks. Don't worry. EDC. You know what the Rams said. All right, I ain't gonna repeat it, but you know what the Rams said. They said the picks, you just take them out. You don't need the picks. What you need the picks for? You need Super Bowls. Picks versus Super Bowls. You want Super Bowls. That's what they said. All right, that's what they said, and they got one out of it. So I would like one myself. As a fan, Yolanda B, she like one. As a fan, my boy Hendo over there, he would like one. As a fan, a Super Bowl. Two. I mean, we'll take two. You know what? We'll take for at least the number of people that commented throughout the live stream. We'll take 4 of them. All right. Even Justin wants one for the Ravens. Okay. Even Justin wants one for the Ravens. He won't admit it. But he want to see Lamar Jackson hoisting Lombardi. Patrick has had enough. All right. Patrick has enough. He can't even lift his hand up no more. He got too many. All right. Let's get Lamar Jackson in there a couple of times. All right. Let's reignite this rivalry. And we good. All right. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, definitely hope you guys enjoyed the show. Remember that the Be More Show is on all major podcasting platforms. Like I'm sure where you look to find Rogue Pod, where you look to find my good friend over there, Yolanda B. Look, okay, like we there. We look to find the Juggernaut Show. We are there. Ravens Talk with Yolanda B. Look, hey, I'm telling y'all, set up y'all's queue. Y'all can have the greatest sportscast y'all ever had, right? The greatest sportscast y'all ever had. But I definitely hope you guys enjoyed the show. Remember that the Be More Show is on all major podcast platforms. I'm talking about every single one of them you can think of, and a couple you can't, because it's so many now, right? It's so many now. A couple of them you can't think. But I definitely hope you guys enjoy the show. Be sure to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. I appreciate my live commenters as well, just creating more and more discussion throughout this show. Definitely hope you guys enjoyed the show. We'll see you guys on the next episode of the Be More Show.